All set. And they're off and racing, and Cathari made a slightly awkward start down the outside and quickly taken in behind runners. But Qatari is just racing a little keenly as well now after that beginning. Up front, Dreams Adozen shows the way. He's in front from Hebridean Nomad in second position. Then comes Watcombe with Cathala on their tails and Cynthia out wide. Sawgrass is back in sixth place, Spartan Times seventh, and Qatari eighth and last as they pass the judge with a circuit to go in this first division of the PricedUp Handicap. And it's Dreams Adozen who strides on towards the far side of the track. Dreams Adozen and Jason Hart leading by 2 to 3 lengths now from Watcombe in second place. Just in behind those is Hebridean Nomad. Cynthia towards the outside of the group. Cathala for company as well. And Sawgrass is a very close 6 at the moment. Spartan Times next, racing on the outside of Qatari, who has been back marker throughout the contest so far. Dreams Adozen continues to take them down the far side of the track. Dreams Adozen leading by a length and a half to 2. Cynthia gone a clear second now with Watcombe third. Fourth place, Hebridean Nomad, and then comes Cathala. Sawgrass and Spartan Times are together. Qatari still the back marker, and from this point they have a mile left to run. So they continue their way down the back straight with Dreams Adozen showing the way. Pretty positive ride here by Jason Hart, who won our previous race this afternoon in that fabulous scrap which Olisa got the better of. The leader is Dreams Adozen still. Cynthia second. Followed then in third position by Hebridean Nomad, and then on the outside Watcombe. Watcombe's tracked by Sawgrass in company with Cathala, and after those Qatari keeping company with Spartan Times on the outside. As they come out of the bend there, Cathala is one of the early ones to be pumped along. Niggled at now is Watcombe, so too is Hebridean Nomad. They're all in the middle of the pack, but the leader looks happy as Larry at the moment. Dreams Adozen turning for home. Dreams Adozen, Jason Hart just encouraging along here for a little bit more, trying to put the squeeze on the field. Cynthia in second place. In behind those, well, Watcombe's flat out, so too is Hebridean Nomad. Sawgrass beginning to make a bit of an effort over on the far side, and Spartan Times has arrived firmly on the bridle on the stand side. He looks to be travelling best of all, but obviously in ground like this, things can change in strides. Qatari struggling on at the back, dropping away Hebridean Nomad. The leader, Dreams Adozen, about to have company in the form of outsider Cynthia. Spartan Times, though, now brought right under pressure towards the stand side running rail. They're then followed by Watcombe, Sawgrass taking an age to pick up. Qatari plugging on over on the far side of the track, and now furlong and a half left to go. Feel like a mile and a half for these because Cynthia's weary, still has the narrow lead. Spartan Times trying to get there with Dreams Adozen trying to rally in behind in third place, and not quite done with yet either. Half a furlong left to go. Cynthia, Spartan Times, Dreams Adozen still inching closer. Qatari as well. Cynthia, Dreams Adozen coming again. Another tight finish. Dreams Adozen getting up though. Dreams Adozen. Jason Hart refused to be beaten. Excellent ride to beat Cynthia. In behind them, Spartan Times, Qatari and Sawgrass.
Oh, Jason Hart has really pulled that one out of the fire on the stout stayer Dreams Adozen, who was supported near to the off and has managed to gain a second win of the turf season at least, and a third win of the year in total. He's been a busy horse through the course of the year. His winning for the year started in January at Newcastle. He's a proven strong stayer, and obviously that's what you needed. And as we pick it up with half a mile or so to run, you can see that Spartan Times was travelling all over them really with 3 to run. Dreams Adozen looks in trouble, looks very, very vulnerable, but it's a never say die ride from Jason Hart, who just kept pushing, squeezing and trying to get every ounce out of his horse, and it's really worked the oracle. He looks beaten here, doesn't he? Cynthia has run a very good race in behind, but just ended up getting a little bit tired on very taxing ground. Spartan Times continues in really good form, but even here you wouldn't say Dreams Adozen was the likely winner, but he's managed to plough his way through the conditions, kept going really well, fit as a flea from James Owen's yard, and near to the line he's come out a length or so on top of Cynthia.